Move straight to our next conversation. Afenifere Obi Hail Afe Babalola for withdrawing defamation suit against Farotimi. Now, let's talk about the legal battles often serve as a test of patience and the ability to reconcile disputes. Renowned legal luminary Aare Afe Babalola SAN has agreed to withdraw the defamation case he filed against human rights activist and lawyer Dele Farotimi. The case, which began last year, centered on allegations that Farotimi defamed Babalola in a book. Farotimi was remanded for 20 days before securing bail and regaining freedom on December 24th, 2024. Now, calm has now been restored after a midnight meeting involving traditional rulers in Ado Ekiti, where Afe Babalola resolved to end the legal tussle. So right about now, we have Majid Jamiu joining us right here in the studio. Majid, so good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so Majid, let's start with this matter. Now that the major complainant, who is Aare Afe Babalola, is pulling out of this matter, is it safe to say that that the matter has been resolved?
Yeah, if Aare Afe Babalola himself, I mean, I'm from Ekiti.
Okay.
So, and it's not by coincidence that this event happened in Ekiti. So, we call him Kabiesi, and we respect Aare Afe Babalola a lot. And if he says he's withdrawing the case, and I think he's a senior advocate of Nigeria of repute, and he knows his onions. He knows, I mean, he was not forced to say so.
Okay.
And if you look at the delegation of the traditional rulers from Yoruba land, led by Onirisha himself,
Really high-powered delegation.
Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II. You know, he went with the will of Ado Ekiti.
Yes.
The chairman of the Traditional Rulers Council in Ekiti State. I think the Oloye of, I can't recall the title now. And also the Ajero of Ijero land. The, I mean, at several of them, they arrived at Ado Ekiti around 10:30 Sunday evening. So it's not a joke, you know. So for that high-powered delegation, I think they went straight to Abuad, where Baba Afe resides, and after some consultations, he decided to say, I mean, Afe said something. He said, it's a proper, I mean, a well-brought-up Yoruba man, okay, and that he has a lot of respect for our culture and tradition. And that's why a plea from the Ooni of Ife and the other traditional rulers is not just taken with a pinch of salt. It's a command. It's a directive which he has decided to comply with. So to that, I mean, I give him so much kudos, because I spoke with one of the lawyers of Farotimi just on Sunday evening. Coincidentally, I didn't even know that meeting was going on. He said that they were already preparing another trip to Ekiti State. You know the rigors of going from Lagos to Ekiti. Lagos to Ekiti is a minimum of a 5-hour journey.
Exactly.
And if you are going for that case and court sits by 9 a.m., which means you must be there a day earlier.
Sure.
You must sleep over. So, and
I mean, when the judge can also postpone the
the
case.
judge might
Exactly.
just decide to postpone to adjourn. So it's a lot of relief, and because I've been looking at the young man, but then you know, there are still some nitty-gritties which needs to be tied. I mean, what happens to the book which has gone to Amazon and
Exactly.
stuff like that. So I think
we'll still get to talk about that. But Dele
Farotimi,
Farotimi, you know, has not responded to this recent development. And
He's not permitted to talk.
But knowing who Dele Farotimi is, how do you think he will respond to this olive branch?
I don't know. As much as I don't want to preempt him,
Yes.
one thing I know a bit about him is that he's also a cultured person. So I want to
cultured
believe
person,
that
okay?
if the Obas look at that high delegation, and definitely you can also point some kind of attribution to Afenifere, you
Okay.
understand, who also stood by him and also said that, oh, irrespective of what he has done, let the things be done rightly, because definitely they can't say justice shouldn't be served. But I think what they've done well is that they've settled it out of court. You know, Dele Farotimi will not talk because the court says he should not talk.
Grant interviews.
You understand, grant interviews, and except what you mean by talk is different from what I understand it to be.
I've
So
been
for now,
trying to
I
look
think
at his social media, his Twitter, you know, his
he
page.
won't
He didn't talk. He didn't even say anything
so
about
we
it.
won't blame him for not talking because he's also a lawyer himself, so he knows what it means to violate, you know, a court order, court instruction. But having said that, but I want to believe that no matter what it is, some lessons have been learned by both sides, and some agreement would have been reached. You know, for the man to, if you needed to see that video, you know, you had to. Definitely, that's the culture. A 95-year-old man, you know, Oba is Oba.
Sure.
You know, and for the Oba to also come to your house, definitely they don't need a Dele Farotimi to say, I'm sorry, before he will accept their request. And like the Oni of Ife highlighted, they said that, Afe, we respect you.
But peradventure,
You have a name.
But peradventure, he sticks to his guns. That, oh, this matter needs to go on, maybe fundamental human.
I won't preempt him.
But really, what do you see happening afterwards then?
That's why I said I won't preempt him, for the fact that it has gotten to this level.
Yes.
I do not think he will speak against what he may have. He may not listen to Peter Obi, who also went to Afe, you know. But you know, now that the traditional rulers have stepped in, I think the political leader has stepped in. The traditional rulers have stepped in. I do not think he will want to go contrary to the path of peace.
Majid, what are your thoughts here?
Well,
There are two questions here.
yeah.
Two.
For Dele Farotimi, yeah, like he said, you know, the case will still be heard on the adjourned date.
Okay.
And the case will be withdrawn. The judge might decide to strike it out that day,
Okay.
or fix another.
How about the
magistrate.
independent charges, the other ones that have actually come up?
Yes.
What happens to those ones?
That is not Ekiti State.
Okay.
That's in Ibadan.
The one is in Ibadan, one
Yes.
is in Abuja. So, and that has nothing to do with Aare Afe Babalola.
Okay.
I mean, he allegedly libeled
Yeah, this is the chief complainant.
Aare Afe Babalola and some other judges and judiciary and lawyers. So, Aare Afe Babalola took his case on his own.
Okay.
I mean, independent of the others. So, and I think there's one in Ibadan too. So, I mean, it behoves
And the guy happens to be one of the strong counsel in Afe Babalola's chamber.
chambers. So,
Okay.
but I think Aare Afe Babalola might prevail on the
others.
the second one.
Okay.
To also withdraw. But for the one in, I think there is one in Abuja. So that one, I think is another kettle of fish. So, but the biggest one is that of Aare Afe Babalola. And I was trying to remember the name of the chairman of the Traditional Council in Ekiti State.
Ekiti, okay.
It's the Olojudo of Ido, who was Ido Ekiti, who was also there,
Okay.
and also the Ugoga of Ikere and the lawyer of Oye. Very powerful, first-class traditional rulers in Ekiti State. I mean, they followed Ooni of Ife, who led the delegation. It started around 10:30 thereabouts, and were there till about 1, 2 a.m. On Sunday stroke Monday morning. So,
No, back to what I asked him. Peradventure, Dele Farotimi decides to stick to his guns. That, hey, there's still some issues that needs to be addressed, fundamental human rights. And how do you see this? You know, how do you see this happening after?
Shegun, Dele Farotimi is a Yoruba man.
Yes.
Aare Afe Babalola is above 90. The Ooni of Ife went there with some traditional rulers to plead with him. I doubt if Dele Farotimi, with all his activism and civil society, whatever, would want to say, no, I will have to continue with this case. I don't think so. Because most of the lawyers, too, are also subjects of this traditional law. So they will advise him appropriately. I don't see him doing that. No, I don't even think it's something we should discuss.
Okay, now that the chief complainant has now withdrawn the case, but should Dele Farotimi now maybe probably apologize, go and say no more? And also, what happens with the book still in circulation?
You know,
those are key.
You know, this case is still in court.
Exactly.
So I think we need to be mindful of
before we are summoned.
Before we are summoned. And more so, the chief complainant, I mean Chief Aare Afe Babalola, is saying, I'm dropping charges. So, except somebody will now go and tell Farotimi, say, no, now go and start realizing this book, or I mean,
but should he apologize?
He's the defendant.
Yes, I think.
Should he apologize? Though?
Well, see, I think he should apologize, but then it is left to him to want to apologize, and I believe he should apologize because because you know, like I said, we have not really seen the conditions.
Okay.
I mean, because Aare Afe said he will direct his lawyers to withdraw. So it is in the withdrawal that we will now see what, I mean, we can't just say withdraw like that. I mean, there are some issues. So maybe he will now issue an apology or write another book, because remember.
What do you write another book?
Remember somebody wrote, I think Obasanjo wrote My Wash.
Okay, My Wash.
Somebody.
That's Yinka Odumaki.
Yeah, God bless you. Yinka Odumaki wrote Washing the Washer.
But the very seriously, what I think he's doing is, we don't want to preempt what he would look at.
True.
You understand? So let's allow him take his decision, because he may also say that, hey, I'm the one that deserves apology here. So let's leave him. He might say, oh, the way I was taking, I didn't like it. I deserve apology. So we cannot preempt what is going through his mind. You understand? Because it's been said he should not speak. So until he's allowed to speak, or his lawyer is allowed to speak. In fact, we tried to speak to some of the lawyers to come on air. They said they don't want to speak on the matter. Yeah. And we also, even the lead counsel, when we reached out to Afe Babalola to come on TVC, he said we should go to his lead lawyer, and his lead lawyer stopped picking our calls at the time.
Okay, but
so this is just to say that
while we try not to preempt Dele Farotimi on this case, but if you're to advise on this matter, I still put it to you.
I don't know the wounds. I don't know the wounds felt by the two. The one we've heard is more of Afe.
Yes.
Afe has he even mentioned the kind of position that he holds.
Yeah.
He mentioned how serious this is, a man who is put in charge of people who are supposed to track corruption. And you are saying that most of the things he has been winning is corruption laden. So these are issues that, let them leave the courts, then we can talk about the issue.
Okay.